I'm Gary Isaacs with the Ike Pickett Show. Thanks for stopping by today. I want to help you remember who you are and why you're in this world at this important time. Let me explain what's happening, that you can see, and what is quietly happening that you can't see, that are so important for your personal and financial integrity. Don't scroll past this important message. Stick with me to the end. There's a reward for you, and you'll be glad that you did. But first, a little background. With the passing of the Federal Reserve Act that established corporate and banker control, or at least heavy influence on elections and the policies of the government, the U.S. was well on its way toward the full control of the movements of all citizens. Now it became important to the oligarchs and the corporate officials with hidden agendas to get their people appointed to high positions in the executive branch of the government. And so they did. The bureaucrats didn't have to be elected or selected by the consent of the citizens. It was a way to tax the people without their representation. The very heart of the origin and purpose of the United States Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. The interests of the American people had become of little importance to them, or at least secondary to the special interests of the elites and their behemoth banks and corporations. Woodrow Wilson, fully aware of who was contributing to his campaign in 1913, later declared this, his words, not mine. Our great industrial nation is controlled by its system of credit. Therefore, all of our activities are in the hands of a small group of men who chill and check true economic freedom. We have come to be one of the worst ruled, completely controlled, and dominated governments in the world. No longer a government of the majority, but a government of the opinion and duress of a small group of dominant men. End quote. This was the beginning of an escalating coup attempt to take control of the people of the United States and remove the constitutional government created by the Founding Fathers. The secret coup attempt would eventually reach maximum momentum in 2020 by a manufactured pandemic and the manipulation of the Donald Trump re-election campaign. They thought they had it for sure after Trump was strategically defeated in November 2020, and the election of Joe Biden in what was probably the biggest unconstitutional alteration of the voting process in all of American history. But the American people were rapidly becoming more informed by independent sources outside of the mainstream media. Donald Trump was elected again to another term in 2024, and things were about to change. He by then was determined to restore the constitutional rights of the people to its original intent and to fix international trade relations with the governments of other countries. With enormous support at the polls, Americans had shown by overwhelming majority that they are willing to endure the pain of the surgery necessary to make that happen. A counter-coup was enthusiastically underway with an immediate overhaul of the executive staff, each one with an ambitious and rapid-fire agenda. An amazing tool for the independence of economics and personal freedom called Bitcoin was discovered in 2009. Bitcoin has the integrity to stand up to and replace the coup without war and bloodshed. Personal patriotism was now being taken one by one into the hands of the people and out of the hands of the oligarchs. Its use as a private savings account and a store of wealth was catching on outside of the institutional control by ETFs and stablecoins. Bitcoin's untouchable stability and permanence was becoming more widely realized by the people who proposed it and whose purpose it was intended for. So, using the original U.S. Declaration of Independence as a template, I wrote a Declaration of Financial Independence that you can read and copy for yourself in its entirety on my website, myintegritypath.com. Oh, and please click the icon at the lower right of your screen and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me to keep this stuff going. I try to podcast on a daily basis. Your help would be greatly appreciated. I'm Gary Isaacs with the Ike Pickett Show. Thanks for hanging with me today. Remember that knowledge is power, and it also displaces fear. Spend a little time learning a little more about what's going on. Open my website, myintegritypath.com. You can get your free copy of the Declaration of Financial Independence there to keep for yourself. Read my book, Standing Up to the Coup, and you can listen to my book, Searching for Bitcoin, by audio. Keep in mind what you can do to stand peacefully up to the coup. Remember who you are and why you're here at this important time, and rest peacefully, knowing that your integrity and your savings are not controlled by a public-private partnership, but are in your own private Bitcoin wallet custody.
There's an old American system, it's called free enterprise. We have a tendency to forget when the do-gooders start to rise. When the dollar gets weak and prices are high and they give us their socialist salve. If the government can give you all you want, it can take everything you have.